I'd like to introduce you to Louise on the right-hand side of her screen there. That's her partner, Jessica, on the left. And she's going to tell you about how the show came into being once she's unmuted her microphone.
I'm really glad we're doing this. It's been 40 years ago when I first sat down to write it in a little grotty hotel in England. And I wrote it in honor of my friend Arthur, who I just found out had been diagnosed. And I was scared to death. So I wrote it in a very short period of time, sent it off to consenting adults in public. Eric Presland read it on the train and wrote back to me and said, we want to do this. And that's how it came to be. And hundreds of lives later, here we are, and there's treatment. But back then we didn't know much. And among many other lesbians, I decided that I needed to do something. So I wrote Antibody.
Hospital room in the Royal Free, Hampstead. There is a hospital bed, a chair, a bedside table with a glass of water, a door to one side to the bathroom, a television and hospital equipment near one wall. William enters in a hospital gown, walking slowly. He gets to the bed and leans on it a minute, then gets in slowly. He drinks some water, leans back.
Here I am to check up on you again. How are you?
Tired. I just feel worn out. It feels strange too, having a room to myself. Under the NHS, even people who are dying don't get a room to themselves. You're lucky to get some screens to pop your clogs.
Just a precaution.
A precaution against what?
Ah, the $64,000 question.
I'm not dying, am I?
Not yet that I can see.
Good. I'd hate to go before Little Shop of Horrors opens.
Well, let's make sure you do. Let's get your blood pressure and your temperature. And then a blood sample.
Another one? My right arm has been punctured so many times it could be a needlepoint sampler. I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears, and sweat.
But you will never surrender. Good for you.
Have you got bottles for tears and sweat too? Well, if you must, then you must. Go ahead, pick an arm, pick a vein, any vein. What do you fancy, Nurse Annie?
Left then. There, you've made your donation for the day.
Can I claim it against tax? Well, you can just give it back then.
Too late. You're too much.
Like me, do you, Annie?
All the nurses love you, William.
Not quite all. What about little Miss Dotty? I hear she's asked to transfer to another ward to avoid me.
Only been here a few days, and already you've broken one heart.
I don't think that was it.
Not exactly, no. It's because she found out that...
Yes, and how did she find out? Did Dr. Wall tell her?
Oh, no, he wouldn't do that. It has nothing to do with your treatment plan, after all. No, apparently she saw your newspaper collection and asked the charge nurse what was capital gay. She went into a real tailspin when I told her what it was. I think she imagined it was about florists. Led a sheltered life.
But why? Why such a big deal?
Your medical history lists your old football injuries from college, and you mentioned to her that you run 5 miles every day. You look masculine, and you don't seem unhappy or crazy or nasty. So according to Dotty, it's just impossible to believe that you're
a wee poof. I see. I can't be an athlete and gay. Could have had to let me know.
A transfer may take a while.
I'll lurk in the hall and try to look effeminate just to cheer her up. How come you're so tough, Annie? How come you don't mind nursing a deviant?
I started nursing in Northern Ireland. After that much blood and death, you don't really care how anybody gets laid. Well, I can't go on chatting to the likes of you. Got to get this down to the lab. Your doctor's due soon.
Oh no, whatever will I do with my lipstick? I hate hospitals.
I heard that.
I don't care. I hate them. I hate hospitals.
Welcome to the club. Why do you hate them?
Not enough closet space.
Pardon?
Forget it. Well, Doctor, do you bring tidings of comfort and joy? What's the good word? Is there a good word?
Oh, yes. Actually, there is some good news. We've ruled out leukemia.
I didn't even know it would be nominated.
There are some other possibilities. You do have borderline anemia brought on by the diarrhea, but the cause is unknown. I've been doing some reading lately, and I've decided the best thing would be to bring in a specialist. I'd like Dr. Helbing from the Chelsea and Westminster as a consultant. He's published some very good things on gastrointestinal complications, and also seems to have some experience in, well, in treating homosexuals.
You think that has something to do with what's wrong with me?
I don't know. All tests for venereal disease are negative.
I should bloody well hope so.
I'm not a specialist in GI, but Helbing is. Frankly, well, I know very little about your lifestyle, Mr. Davis.
Lifestyle? Is that what it's called? I thought it was simply having a life. Do heterosexuals have lifestyles?
Please, stop this. The reading I've done indicates that someone who does know something about homosexuals should be treating you. When I first saw you a year ago, I gave you a complete physical and you were fine apart from an allergy to feathers.
I never could keep racing pigeons. Such a tragedy.
7 months ago, you came in and asked for medication for occasional migraine headaches. 4 months ago, you came to see me complaining of fatigue, more headaches, and stomach aches, which were probably intestinal cramps, and chronic diarrhea. A week ago, you were brought into the emergency room suffering from dehydration brought on by the diarrhea. You've lost 10 pounds in the last 2 weeks. You yourself told me you've been in excellent health for the past 10 years at least.
Well, I have. Why would I lie to you?
Suddenly, you're a very sick man, and frankly, I don't understand it.
Neither do I.
You've been here for 4 days, and we still can't work out what's going on. And you're quite certain you've never had anything like this before?
Never. I hardly even get colds. The last time I was in the hospital was when I was in a motorcycle accident when I was 19. The football stuff was the usual sprains, nothing broken. I got food poisoning once in India. I'm the healthiest man I know.
You haven't been travelling in the tropics recently, have you?
Are you kidding? I may work for Thomas Cook, but they're not that generous. I had a week in San Francisco at New Year. That's all. What's that got to do with anything?
Well, believe it or not, your symptoms so far bear a certain resemblance to, well, rare tropical diseases. I know that seems somewhat unlikely. Well, at any rate, we should know what's up quite soon, especially with Helbing's expertise. I'm ordering iron supplements for you to be taken with meals.
Oh, yes, this wonderful gourmet NHS food. Everything looks like wallpaper paste. Tastes like it too.
Sorry, a bland diet is necessary to clear up the diarrhea.
So look at the food, you can hardly tell the difference. You know what? When I get out of here, I'm going to Pizza Express in Dean Street. I'm going to scoff 4 different toppings, spicy ones, hot toppings with some cool jazz.
You've still got the abdominal pain?
It doesn't hurt so much as ache.
And fever again last night?
Wasn't so bad this time, hardly broke a sweat.
Keep drinking all the liquids you can. I don't want to prescribe anything stronger until I know what's wrong. A wrong antibiotic could make it worse.
I'm not that uncomfortable. I just wish I could stop dreaming of pepperoni.
stay calm, relax as much as you can.
I'm hardly going anywhere, am I?
I'll bring Dr. Helbing as soon as I can.
Very well, Watson. Bring Sherlock in. Hopefully he'll find it elementary. Until then.
Always kidding, aren't you? Well, it's good that you're being so cheerful.
William's room again. He is in bed eating lunch. Enter David, a tall, self-assured man.
Dave, what are you doing here?
I decided to take a long lunch and come and see you. The council can survive without me for a little while.
But it's not visiting hours. I'm surprised they let you in.
They didn't. I went to reception desk and they told me to come back later. So I snuck round to A&E, grabbed a wheelchair, headed to the staff lift, and realised that once you fit in, by looking like that, you can get anywhere. It's all about integration.
How cool is that?
Well, the wheelchair definitely helped. I left it outside. Hey, you want to go for a ride? Maybe do wheelies down the hall and upset the patients.
No, thanks. I'm not that bored yet.
Oh, hey, but how come you don't have a TV? I thought all hospitals had TVs. I mean, it keeps the patients sedated better than Valium.
I told them to take it out. I didn't want it. I'd rather read.
And of course, receive such visits from some highly entertaining visitors such as one.
Exactement.
So, William, old buddy, what the hell have you been up to end up in hospital? Your hemorrhoids playing up again? I told you to go easy on the...
They don't know yet.
They don't know. What are they playing at? How long have you been in here anyway?
5 days. 5 days of tests. And now I've got 2 doctors. The all-purpose junior drudge and some shit-hot specialist.
Specialist in what?
His name's Helbing. Mean anything to you?
Mm-mm.
Apparently this Helbing knows all there is to know about the gut.
Oh my God. Wait a minute. That's ringing a bell. Wouldn't be Dr. Arthur Helbing, would it?
That's the one. Do you know him?
Know him? I fucked him.
Oh, kidding.
Yeah, well, we went out together about 4 years ago. Didn't work out, though. He was more interested about his work than in me. I was really sorry, because he's a sweet man. Anyway, I hear he's found someone else who doesn't mind playing second fiddle to gastrointestinal disorders. Good luck to them both. Hey, you must have realised he's gay.
I've only seen him once, and he was with my other doctor then, hardly the time or the place. Anyway, maybe he's in the closet like the rest of people.
If he's in the closet, then I'm Diana Ross.
Might not be the same one.
There can't be more than one Dr. Helbing who specialises in gay diseases in this town.
What do you mean, gay diseases? There's no such thing as a gay disease. You ever seen a virus wearing a little pink triangle?
I meant, Bashard, that he seems to have a lawful lot of Nellies on his books. Let me check. White hair, beard, brown eyes? Yeah.
Oh, it is your Helbing. Apart from the white hair, is he any good?
Yeah. He's good at kissing and heavy breathing.
I meant as a doctor, Dave.
Well, sorry, I couldn't resist it. Yeah, he's good. He's got all kinds of certificates in his office. Does a drop-in clinic at the Vauxhall. And constantly gets quoted in Gay Times, Capital Gay, all the time about STDs. Actually, I went to him myself when I thought I'd caught a dose. That's how I met him.
How romantic. Their eyes met over a swab.
Luckily for me, it turned out to be a false alarm. Oh, that reminds me. Oh, we're having a Greek meeting. And about STDs. Maybe I should ask him to come and speak.
I forget exactly what STD stands for. Sexually what?
Sexually transmitted diseases, Billy boy. How could you forget a euphonious name like that?
Euphonious. Hark at her. How's the group going?
Driving me crazy. As usual, spent our last meeting arguing for an hour and a half about whether we should change the name. You see, there's 3 women who came last and want to join. So Phil said, we shouldn't call it Black and White Men Together anymore. Then we went around and around about whether it should be Black and White Men and Women Together, or Women and Men, or just call it Black and White Together, in case any transsexuals want to join in later on. Or if we say women and men, are people going to think, God forbid, we're heterosexual? And then, if we change the name, we'd have to change the bank account, the checkbook, and the stationery, etc., etc. Oh, God.
So what did you decide?
Not me. Leave me out of it. They voted to table it and discuss it at the next meeting. Of course. Yeah. I bet those women were so disgusted with us, all this nitpicking, that they never come back. No wonder they formed separate organisations. We must have looked pretty silly.
Women have some pretty silly arguments too. Separatist feminists, lesbian feminists, feminist lesbians, separatist lesbian feminists.
Oh no! Thinking that women were perfect.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I argue all the time.
I refuse to believe it.
In fact, if you got to know 1 or 2, you might discover that women are human.
Never!
Faults and all.
Say it isn't true!
I'm sorry I spoke. A man is entitled to his illusions. Forget it. Of course women always agree. They never raise their voices to one another, and they are never, ever bitchy behind anyone's back. Better? I never say anything to upset you.
Hey, are you sure you're sick? Now you're being a drama queen. Anyway, that's a seriously bad cough you've got there. Easy, really easy. Oh, I almost forgot. We had a card from everybody who signed it except for a hyper-efficient Mr. Jeffrey Hardy. He beat us to it. Typical. He also bought his own card. Anyway, he said he's come to visit you soon. Actually, everyone from the gay centre said they were going to visit, but don't count on it. Some people asked for the ward number or your home number, and I gave them both out. I hope you don't mind.
It's from Bill. Get well before I get violently sick with boredom. Love and long yawns, Bill. Like this one. Please don't die. That would be really inconvenient. That's the gay centre crowd. Hurry on back in time for Pride. We need you to scare the police. It's by Becky, Malcolm, Dan, Vanessa, even John Cook. Bill did come and see me, actually. Wanted my opinion about who should be in charge of the entertainment for Pride.
Typical Bill. Has to have an ulterior motive, even for doing something nice. Hey, why should he be asking you something like that?
I did it 2 years ago. I think he was rather hoping I'll do it again.
Not until you're better, you don't.
I wouldn't do it even if I was better. The shit I had to put up with. You try pleasing everyone and you end up pleasing no one. It's a celebration, for God's sake, not a war zone. I told Bill as much, so he asked me to think of someone else. I wanted to tell him to do his own dirty work, but I didn't feel up to it. Actually, I can't think of anyone I hate enough to offer the job to.
How about John Cook?
John Cook? Boring John, you're joking. The ego has landed. A 3-hour one-man show by John Cook about the incredible talents of John Cook, written by John Cook, performed by John Cook, directed by John Cook.
Security by John Cook.
Insecurity by John Cook. That's what it is, really, underneath. It must be possible to find somebody. It's not that hard. All they really want is a couple of singers and some gay lib speeches to break up the high energy. Eric Presland will sing whether you ask him to or not. There's plenty of rent-a-gob out there too. No, wait, what about Ken Livingstone? He's very pro-gay, breath of fresh air in County Hall.
You see, you're getting caught up again. Stop it.
Why don't you do it?
Me? Leave it out. I thought we were friends.
You like challenges?
Why else would I chase after you for 2 months?
I'm sorry. Wrong time. I was set on Dan, as I told you. You can't say I wasn't honest.
And you're still carrying a torch for him, admit it. You had him for 5 years. That's a lifetime in gay relationship years. Almost close to docky years. But anyway, be grateful for what you had.
I am, honestly.
So, why are you retreating into your ivory tower? Celibacy isn't healthy, my friend. It's been proven scientifically. The heart needs exercise. I couldn't stand being abstinent.
You'll meet some great men working on Pride.
No.
You have a great set of contacts.
A
lot of your friends are performers.
I know a woman who can juggle.
All women can juggle. It's called multitasking.
And a man who's a mime artist.
That's perfect for Pride. A mime artist. Nobody can hear themselves speak anyway. Say you'll do it. Your refusals are exhausting.
What is it?
Nothing in particular. I'm always tired, that's all. I don't even have the energy to run in the morning anymore.
Oh, getting fat and lazy, are we?
Are you crazy? Look at me.
Yeah, you are thinner. In fact, your face is much thinner. You didn't really register because you're lying down.
It's a good job I don't have to go out. My jeans would fall down.
As bad as that?
I've lost a lot of weight. A lot of weight.
You're very pale too. You need some sun.
For Christ's sake, David, I'm in hospital and I'm sick. Of course I look lousy.
I didn't say you looked lousy. I said you needed some sun. A trip to Brighton, perhaps. You're a bit pale, that's all. At least you have the energy to get mad at me. That's something. Did you know that when you get mad at me, you call me David?
Do I?
Only when you're mad at me. Otherwise, it's Dave.
I didn't mean to snap at you. I'm just cranky. I don't know what's wrong with me.
In that case, I better let you rest. Anyway, I have to get back anyway. You don't get that long for lunch. Anyway. Oh, can I have a hug? I promise I won't take advantage of you. Oh. What was that?
The ghost of Christmas past?
Very clumsy ghost. Oh my God.
Soon will be time for me to make my contribution to medical science. Thanks. You wouldn't like to piss in this for me, would you?
God knows what they'd find.
So tired of doing this.
Well, I'll leave you to it. Oh, by the way, do you need anything? Newspapers, radio, fruit, sweets, books, cannabis, porn, personalized bedpan?
It sounds wonderful. Bring it all on. Actually, I'm quite happy with you and your stimulating conversation.
You'd rather have me and my stimulating conversation than a personalised bedpan? You must be out of your tiny little mind.
Idiot.
Bye.
William in bed, playing with a squash ball. He passes it from one hand to another.
Oh. You've got good reflexes.
I play squash. The hospital has a couple of courts in the new wing. So, how are we today?
We are absolutely spiffing, Dr. Helbing. That is why we are in hospital, because our health is so very good.
I think we have some news on that.
Ah, another we. And who is this we? Is that the royal we? Or do you mean you and Dr. Wall? Well, why isn't he here now?
He was just called out on an emergency. You might find this hard to believe, but there are other patients in this hospital.
Ouch, sorry.
So rather than keep you waiting until tomorrow, I thought I'd just come in myself.
So what is it? I can tell by your face you know something. Please don't give me some long Latin name.
Well, we do have a name for it, yes. That doesn't mean we know much about it. You have what is known as acquired immune deficiency syndrome. What that means is that your body's natural immunity to infection is breaking down. AIDS used to be very rare, but recently there have been a number of cases reported, particularly, I'm sorry to say, among gay men.
Terrific. Just my luck to get some exotic gay disease and not even an exotic holiday to catch it on. So now what? Surgery?
No, AIDS can't be treated with surgery.
So what is the treatment then?
There is no treatment. There is no cure. I have to tell you, it could be terminal.
You mean as in fatal?
Yes.
This is a joke, right? Tell me you're having me on.
There's no way to soften it. I mean fatal. I'm sorry.
You're sorry. I don't believe this. Shit!
I am sorry, William, desperately sorry.
Nice of you to take some time out of your busy schedule to let me know I might be dying. I am 30 years old. 30? Why me? What have I done to deserve this? Oh, what next? How bad is it going to be?
I don't know. It depends on a number of things. You see, the main thing is that your body can no longer fight off infection. At present, you have a GI infection.
English, please.
I beg your pardon?
GI.
Gastrointestinal. The infection is known as ulcerative colitis. That's the reason for the chronic diarrhea. The iron supplements appear to have the anemia under control. You're also developing PCP, a form of pneumonia which is causing the fever and the dry cough. We're treating these things.
Can't you do anything about this? AIDS?
I'm going to try. Not enough is known about it. It's a complex disease. You could survive for some time. There's new research being done all the time where they could find a treatment that works at any moment.
Are you sure I've got AIDS?
I've checked and rechecked the test results. I've confirmed the diagnosis with Dr. Wall and the epidemiologist here.
How the hell did this happen?
You tell me. No, I'm serious. There's some questions I have to ask you, quite personal questions. You see, it's pretty certain that this is an infectious disease. We're not sure how it's transmitted, but evidence points to sex being one strong possibility. So I'd like to have you make a list of all your sexual partners for the last couple of months. They should have themselves tested as well, because they may have caught the virus.
What's the point of knowing when you can't offer a cure?
We can offer care. And they should know if they're infectious. Maybe then they start to be more careful.
Okay. You want me to write you a list of partners? Have you got a postage stamp I can write on?
Oh, there must be some incident.
Incident. What a nice, cold, clinical word. Look, I broke up with my lover, Dan, 6 months ago. Since then, I've been celibate. Well, there was one time. I got lonely around Christmas. I answered a personal ad. He sounded like a nice guy. We had an incident twice. I haven't seen him since.
And he was the only one? Are you sure?
I think I'd remember. Oh. Uh-oh.
Yes?
I went to San Francisco on holiday. Sometimes I get cheap travel from work.
Yes?
I'd never been to America. I'd always wanted to go to the West Coast. I'd heard so much about it.
I know what you mean.
I went to the Castro station.
The way you do.
And, well, I got invited to a party.
You had sex with someone at this party?
I had sex with several someones at this party.
How many?
How do I know? I was off my trolley. Someone offered me a joint. There was a line of coke. Somewhere in there were funny blue pills. I was on holiday. The dope there was far stronger than here. Everybody was off their faces. You could do whatever you wanted or whoever you wanted. And I did. It was one of those parties, you know?
An orgy, you mean?
Stop sounding like the news of the world. I don't need your disapproval.
But it was, wasn't it? Not as a matter of judgment, as a matter of fact.
I'd never been to one, but I was a little drunk and this guy in the bar was inviting all and sundry, so I went. I wouldn't go to another one. All I got was a really bad hangover the next day. It lasted a couple of days, as a matter of fact.
Maybe that wasn't all you got. San Francisco has a number of reported cases of AIDS. Was this party before or after you met the guy through the personal ad?
After. I remember telling him I was going to San Francisco. I was excited about it.
He should get himself checked, just in case. So should your ex.
Could Danny really have it?
It's possible.
We were together for 5 years. Together. Just that. There was no one else.
Are you absolutely sure?
Well, I know from...
Err on the side of caution. Tell him to get checked.
That'll be some conversation. Why me? Why Dan?
He's probably out of it with any luck.
Luck. Not much luck around here.
I mean, it seems your symptoms showed up after this party, but we still don't know for sure. This Dan might be an asymptomatic carrier of some kind.
What?
He could have it and not know it.
Oh no. This is the last straw. This is just the shittiest. What are my chances?
There's about a 40% mortality rate.
What did you say?
2 in every 5 patients have died so far. Look, it may turn out to be more. It may be less.
Shit!
Do you by any chance remember where this party took place?
What?
The party in San Francisco. What was the address?
Who cares?
I do. Please try to remember the address.
What difference can that make now? Anyway, I don't see that it's any of your damn business.
It's my business to keep this damn thing from spreading. If you can remember the address, I can contact the health authorities there and give them the information. They can notify whoever held the party, and maybe he can get those that attended to a clinic.
And maybe they can get the poor bastards arrested for drug offences too. I don't know the California laws on orgies.
That won't be happening. Some things are more important than that.
Not according to Nancy Reagan.
Oh, well, I'm glad you can still joke. If it was me, I'd be tearing the walls down.
No, you wouldn't. You'd be sitting down to write a list of everyone you've been to bed with in the last 6 months, complete with names, addresses, age and star sign.
I don't believe in astrology.
Okay. Take a letter, Miss Helbing. My Love Life, or What I Did on My Holidays by William Davis, age 30. Number 1, my lover, Dan McRae, with whom I was completely monogamous with for 5 years and who still lives at our old address. He got the flat, I got the cat. 2, Harold, whose surname I don't know, who in his personal ad sounded a lot like Dan and who is a short walk from the Black Cat, but don't ask me the name of the street. It was number 69, I remember, because we joked about that. Finally, a bunch of strangers in San Francisco who live God knows where, but they party at a place on Castro Street.
Where in Castro Street?
I think it was Castro Street. It was near there anyway. Right next door to a laundrette. And there was a Chinese restaurant on the corner. The Golden Temple, I think. It was a long time ago and I was drunk.
It's all right. I'll send that information that we have, like the date and the general area, to the Gay Men's Clinic and the AIDS group in San Francisco.
Have an AIDS group?
It's very new. We'll have one here too soon, I'm sure, but maybe they can work out where the party was from what you've said. Maybe someone there even went to the party. In the meantime, contact Dan and Harold.
Great.
William, I hope you realize, even if we manage to get these infections under control, you'll still have AIDS. You may start feeling much better, but you'll still have it in your system. And it's infectious. So you should try to refrain from sexual activity.
You think I want to pass this on?
It's been known to happen. Some men are selfish and ruled by their penises. Besides, we can't be sure that it is transmitted only through sex. Not every group affected is sexually promiscuous, because AIDS also affects Haitians and drug users and hemophiliacs, except the hemophiliacs are blaming it on blood they got from gay donors. We still think it might be sex, but we only think it. Some people seize on that uncertainty and decide to do whatever they want anyway. One heroin addict is supposed to have said, "I'm going to screw anything I get my hands on before I die." Doctors can't force people to be celibate, though maybe they can ask them to think before they have sex.
I don't feel very attractive right now. As a matter of fact, I feel like Typhoid Mary. Shouldn't I be in isolation?
No, that's not necessary. Just limit yourself to kisses on the cheek. Haven't you read about AIDS? It's been in capital gaze several times, and people buy American newspapers here too.
I hardly ever read the health stuff. Boring. I'm healthy. I've been to the CAIP clinic every so often, but I never really thought I'd had anything to worry about with Dan. I meant to go back again after I got back from the States, but I was busy and forgot. Anyway, what's the point of scaring yourself unnecessarily?
But early detection always increases your survival chances.
Well, I haven't been sick for very long.
That's what you think. As far as I can tell, based on when you got this acute colitis, you've had it for about 5 months. We may get that under control if you respond to the sulfasalazine, but we also have to treat the incipient pneumonia. If we could have spotted the colitis earlier, the problem with AIDS is that everything in the body can go haywire at once.
I went to my GP for treatment months ago.
And he gave you medication for diarrhea, which was your primary symptom. You didn't tell him you had blood in your stool, and you didn't take samples because nothing suggested he needed to. You said you had stomach pains, not intestinal cramps. You didn't tell him about the night sweats. You never mentioned you were running a fever, and you didn't have one when he examined you in his surgery.
I didn't know I was running a fever. I thought the night sweats were from nightmares that were anxiety. How the hell was I to know I had this deficiency thing?
Well, how was he to know? You're lucky Dr. Wall called me in. Otherwise, he might have simply diagnosed ulcerative colitis, and later on, possibly, he would have spotted PCP. That's pneumonia caused by yeast in the lungs, and maybe, finally, recognized AIDS.
And if they didn't, well, there was always the autopsy.
It's a very rare disease among heterosexuals. No reason a junior hospital doctor would recognize it, well, unless they were gay, of course. Are they?
Far from it.
So, they won't even know what questions to ask.
But now I'm lucky to have the all-powerful Dr. Arthur Know-All-Helbing on my side.
Don't kid yourself. I'm a doctor, not a witch doctor. But I'll give it my best shot. For the moment, I've done all I can.
I think I may have a little trouble sleeping this evening.
Well, you can have a sleeping pill if you want.
It's a tranquilizer,
like that. You'll give them less trouble.
My mother and my brother are due to visit tonight. They're coming down by train from Yorkshire, staying overnight in some poky, overpriced little guest house in Finsbury. Whatever you do, don't tell them.
Not my job, that sort of thing. But I really do think you should tell them. They'll find out anyway, sooner or later. It's up to you.
Later rather than sooner, I think.
Yeah, of course, you may not be so well equipped to deal with it by then.
You have a point. I'll think about it.
I'll leave you to it. Well, you seem to have calmed down now. You're taking the news much more calmly.
There's only one small problem.
What's that?
I'm going to throw up.
William's room. As the lights come up, we see Elizabeth Davis sitting in the chair next to the bed. She looks impatient. She is alone.
Are you all right?
Don't fuss, Mum. Just give me a minute, okay? Don't know why they bothered to give me a room. They should have just stuck me in the bathroom, and since I spend most of my time there.
Where would you sleep? In the bathtub?
Not a bad idea. When I wanted a shower in the morning, I'd only have to stand up. Where's Steve?
Oh, he's bought a present to bring you. The new Carrie, the drummer girl. Then he went and left it on the train.
Typical.
He said he'd just pop into the hospital shop and see if they had it.
Oh, we won't see him for an hour then. I better wait till he gets here before I tell you what the doctors have found out.
Like hell you will. You tell me right now, William Davis. You can tell him separately when he gets here, if he gets here.
Brace yourself, Mum. It's not what you call good news.
Oh, no. It's not a cancer. What then? What? Just tell me.
Can't it wait till Steve's here?
No, you don't. You've already worried me silly. What do you mean, not what I'd call good news?
Well, it's something new. They don't know much about it, but I've got a great doctor.
Stop trying to sweeten the pill, love. Just give it to me straight.
It's called AIDS. It's an immune deficiency. You get sick quicker and you don't recover too well. Gay men seem to get it more than most.
I knew being gay would end in tears.
Mother, you ought to be over that by now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just slipped out. I'm over it, really, but how serious is it?
60% survival rate. Not bad.
You mean 2 in 5 die?
I can't fault your maths.
Don't make light of it. You're really sick, aren't you?
And likely to get sicker. Till they come up with something, that is.
So what do you want me to say from now on when people call? Tell them you're really sick with homosexual disease? Oh, I don't know how Auntie Ivy and Uncle Claude would take that.
Just tell them the truth. It doesn't matter.
I didn't have it, so I got you this.
Loitering with intent. Are you trying to make a point?
No.
It's a bit short, isn't it?
Why? Are you planning to stay long? Hey, big brother. How you doing? Bunking off in hospital again, you lazy drongo?
Drongo?
His new girlfriend is Australian.
You can learn so much from children. I knew there must be a reason to have them.
Oh, don't look now, Mum, but we're all grown-ups now.
Nah, not from where I'm standing, you're not.
I seem to have come in halfway through the movie. So? What is it then? Leprosy?
Oh, Steve, you have no idea how funny you are. Thank you. I needed a good laugh. William Davis, leper to the gentry. He'd look good on a business card, don't you think? So, Stevie boy, you want to know what's wrong with me? Well, that's for me to know and you to find out.
William, you're being a thoroughly obnoxious little boy.
Sorry, it seemed funny at the time. You really want to know? Well, I have colitis and something known as PCP pneumonia. But that's not all you'll be delighted to know. It's not the main feature. No, that's called acquired immune deficiency syndrome, AIDS for short.
What? You mean the gay plague?
The plague?
Oh no, Jesus, I don't believe it.
Crazy.
You
There
sure? That
aren't
stuff
any
is deadly.
plagues anymore
No, of
in
course
this
it's gay,
day.
mate.
Such a
It's the only
famous
ones that
disease.
sleep
Even
around
my
getting
straight
it.
brother
Make
knows
sure you've
about
got
it.
it.
Figures. What do you read? The
Say
Daily
it
Mail?
worse than
Stop,
cancer,
will
you
someone
know.
please tell me what the hell is going on here?
You can read all about it. Dr. Helping gave me all this stuff. I didn't know anything about it either.
I want to hear it from you. You tell me. I think I'm entitled to that.
My body no longer has much resistance to infection. My antibodies are on strike. Any little germ that comes along can carry me off. AIDS itself won't kill, but eventually one of the infections will. I could get cancer. I could get anything. There's no way to predict how long I could last, and there's no known cure. About 4 out of every 10 people who get it die. So far, 75% of victims are gay or bisexual
Oh,
men.
stop it.
They think it's transmitted by sexual activity because even non-gay victims have had sexual partners who had the disease.
I don't want to know.
Except maybe poor haemophiliacs who got the disease without even having the fun. They think I got it on my American trip.
So you brought it on yourself. Is that what you're saying? You stupid cretin.
That's enough.
I feel sick.
You too. Funny that. That's exactly how I felt when I was told, would you like one of my anti-nausea pills?
I'm going downstairs to get some chewing gum.
Oh, Stevie, don't sulk.
I'm not sulking. I just need a walk.
You're running away. That's annoying me.
Tough. I don't see why we should be careful of your feelings when he's the one who's dying.
He used to take it out on me, just like this when his father was dying. I think he finds it easier to show anger rather than grief.
Big boys don't cry. That's what Dad used to say. I suppose I'm the one who should be crying if anyone's going to, but I can't. I just feel empty.
I feel in limbo. It hasn't sunk in yet, and anyway, we don't know what's going to happen. They might find a cure tomorrow. I hate waiting. God, ew. William, why couldn't you have just have been more careful?
I didn't know then.
If it's caught through sex, why did you go fooling around? You had Danny. He was the sweetest, loveliest boy ever. Wasn't that enough for you?
We'd split up already. I was in grief.
I suppose in a way it's my fault. I mothered you too much.
I had a wonderful childhood.
I should have remarried. You needed a father. And if you hadn't turned out, none of this need never, ever have happened.
Mother, if you made me a homosexual, then thank you. I wouldn't have wanted it any other way.
Oh dear. I'm saying all the wrong things. I keep putting my foot in it. Oh, I wish I wasn't feeling so helpless.
Want to kiss it better?
Something like that.
Oh, too bad. I'm not even allowed to kiss properly. Only something called dry kissing, which is basically a peck on the cheek. Not really a kiss at all.
You mean like one of Gran's kisses?
Gran, I've forgotten about her. What the heck is she going to say?
It's God's judgment on you for being a homosexual, obviously.
I thought my motorbike accident was God's judgment on me for being a homosexual.
Everything is God's judgment on you for being a homosexual. You're directly responsible for, Mount St. Helena eruption, didn't you know?
On second thoughts, you better not tell her, or anyone else come to that.
What can I say if anyone asks?
Say I've got hepatitis.
That's not very nice.
In the league of table of popular fatal illnesses, Hep B is way above this one, believe me.
It's going to be very lonely.
We've got each other. And I've got good friends.
Not sure I have.
Oh, come here.
Is it safe?
I'm not going to bite you. And hugs are okay. You silly old moo. What are you?
I'm a silly old moo.
I hate hospitals.
William's room once more. He's sitting up in bed now, and at the foot of the bed, a small table is holding the growing pile of books. William is on the phone. Rebecca Sweeney is sitting on the chair, crocheting. John Cook is leaning against the wall, reading a copy of Geoffrey Weekes' Coming Out. Lights up slowly, with William's call already in progress.
Danny, I mean it. Congratulations. You've been waiting a long time to get to be a manager. You deserve it.
Nice of them to let William have a phone.
It's how they reward the long-term inmates for good behaviour. How long is this going to be?
Envious? Not a bit of it. In fact, I'll crack open a bottle of champagne with you as soon as I'm out of here and my stomach can stand it. It was good of you to call. And I've been meaning to, but you know how it is. I've been so busy since. As a matter of fact, I did call you the night I had to get to A&E, but you weren't in. I just thought you were out of town. Oh, of course, Gay Alliance, third Thursday. How quickly I forget things. So have you found anyone to do the entertainment for Pride Day yet? No? You'll find someone, I'm sure. Thanks, Danny. It's good to hear your voice too. Look, I'd love to keep nattering, but I've got 2 visitors demanding my attention.
Demanding?
Oh, and there's something else. You should go get a checkup at the clinic yourself. My doctor said it would be a good idea. I don't think he quite believes me when I say we haven't done anything for 6 months. I can't say I blame him. It seems quite unlikely with someone as dishy as you. No, nothing. I wasn't coming on to you, honest. It's over. I know it's over. Don't be so prickly. Seriously, get yourself checked out. You see, the diagnosis is... you heard. You mean the news is out already? I swear the gay community is just a tiny village, really. Who'd you hear it from? Oh, well, I told him myself when he visited this morning. I mean, David had a right to know, didn't he? He's my oldest friend. Yes, dear, you do too, I know. I was just about to tell you, wasn't I? Nobody knows how long. To tell you the truth, I can hardly believe it myself. Yes, that's just what I said. It sucks. Of course, I'd love to see you. My door is always open. Ex-lovers have rights too. In fact, we should stick together. Not in that way, idiot. Okay? So get your arse in gear and get over here sometime soon. Good. I'll see you then. Bye.
Are you back with us?
Oh, we appreciate that exes who shafted you have priority over people who still love you.
He did not shaft me. That's outrageous. What brings you here anyway?
Gossip. What else would draw any self-respecting deviant? First things first, Vanessa said to tell you that she'll be in to see you the minute she gets back from New York. Also, how dare you get sick when she's out of town? She said I am to call her and tell her exactly what's wrong with you. Then we can decide exactly how many witches we need for a healing circle.
Tell her to get on the next flight because I'm fading faster than Camille. I don't believe in witchcraft anymore, not since I saw The Exorcist, but the sight of her fierce dyke face will probably scare me back to health.
She doesn't have a fierce dyke face. She has great cheekbones and a stubborn chin and melting dark brown eyes. I don't know why you don't believe in witchcraft. I certainly believe in fairies, even nasty bitchy fairies who insult my darling Van.
Who are you calling fairy?
I hate to interrupt.
Then don't. As I was saying...
Oh, wait. I think my illness must be affecting my hearing. I could have sworn I heard the voice of the famous John Cook. Am I hallucinating? Becky, tell me the truth. Is that really the legendary John Cook, Tsar of stage, screen and dole office, standing right there in all his thespian glory?
Try not to faint, dear, but it is indeed the famous actor, John Cook. Your tired old eyes do not deceive you.
After that last review in Capital Gay, I'm not an actor, I'm a joke.
So what's new? Review? I don't remember reading about you in a review.
You didn't. That's the whole point. It said nothing. One of our best performances ever, and hardly a word, just a name checking the supporting cast, while that wanker, Eric Presland, gets a whole paragraph where he couldn't act his way out of a papal bag.
Well, he was the lead.
He thought he was the lead. As usual, he tried to play the lead. But in spite of all the advice I gave him, he just isn't lead material. The ego of the man. I'll never work with him again, not even if he begs me. When I think about what I could have done with that part, I said I couldn't do Private Lives because of prior commitments, but I should have just gone for it for the sake of the show. The problem, you see, was I'd just been made acting deputy assistant manager of the Vauxhall. And once you get an important position of authority like that, well, need I say more?
No, I think you've said quite enough about your public life. I don't care to hear about your private life.
I heard it sold out for the last week, so the public must have.
The public? What do they know?
You're right, they're just ignorant. It's a shame you have to put on plays in front of an audience, really. They don't deserve it and they just spoil it.
Now you're making fun of me.
As if we would.
Have you auditioned for anything else?
No, I think it's time for a little re-evaluation. I need to think more about my career goals. I thought I would have been closer to achieving them by now, but somehow I seem to have come to a standstill.
You can't come to a standstill behind the bar, you get the sack.
I'm not talking about that grubby dive. I'm talking about my real career.
Think of it this way, John. You're ideally placed.
Really?
Yes, poised. If you were at the peak of your profession, you wouldn't have anywhere to go.
That's true. The problem is I haven't got a high enough profile. I need more name recognition. I suggested to Malcolm that he should do an interview with me for the paper. It's a fascinating life story, and I've got some pretty controversial opinions. I mean, just between ourselves, I think Dorothy Squires is a better singer than Judy Garland.
What did Malcolm say?
He's thinking about it. I told him culture is part of the liberation movement. There's room for another gay theatre company apart from Sweatshop. I might start one. I mean, not just gay plays. That's getting to be a bit passé, but Shakespeare, Wilde, Tennessee Williams.
Who didn't write gay plays at all?
We should set our sights higher, aspire to the mainstream. I could talk about all that in the interview. You'd be surprised how many people will be interested.
I would indeed.
When's the next Pride meeting? Are they still looking for an entertainments manager?
They don't like the word manager.
But it is management in all but name. I might be willing to put my skills at their service.
And of course, they'd have to interview the entertainments manager of Gay Pride Day in all the gay press, wouldn't they? How very convenient.
You're beginning to get on my tits, Becky.
You're such a contortionist, you can get on my tits and up your own arse at the same time. You know, John, I have this strange idea that when I go to visit friends in hospital, I might just be more concerned with what's wrong with them than with whatever petty problems are plaguing my piffling little progress. Maybe you don't give a damn about why William's here, but would you mind shutting up for just long enough for me to find out, or is that too much to ask?
Well, pardon me for breathing.
Fight, I'll give you odds on the bull dyke.
William, your nasty streak is showing.
His nasty streak.
My nasty streak is barely peeking out while you've been sitting there with your knitting.
Crochet?
Whatever. You've been sitting there hooking away, you old hooker. And frankly, it's plain weird. You look like Madame Defarge.
Who's Madame Defarge?
Don't worry, it's not your part. Men lost their heads over her. Like Mary, Queen of Scots, lost her head over Queen Elizabeth.
Oh.
She was a creepy fictional character who sat and knitted names of those who were destined to die by the guillotine in the French Revolution. You can read all about it in A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens.
Oh, wasn't Dirk Bogart in that? I saw it, I think.
And I am going to sit here and crochet a fucking quilt until you tell me what is wrong with you, William.
I don't feel like talking about it.
Vanessa is going to want to know.
Tell her to call me. It's easier on the phone when I don't have to see people's faces.
So I've come all this way for nothing. I wouldn't mind knowing myself.
Neither would I.
Neither would he, now he comes to think of it.
I suppose I might as well tell you, since you've made the effort to come here. Everyone is going to hear about it sooner or later in any case.
Is it hepatitis B? I thought I had HB once, but...
I have AIDS.
What a bummer.
What does that mean exactly?
I'm not going through all that again. I'm sick of explaining. Here. Read this. Everything you wanted to know about the immune syndrome and then some. You wish you never asked.
What can they do about it?
Nothing.
A real bummer.
You already said that.
I don't know what else to say, except it's awful.
And a bummer.
Well, yes.
John's right. This is awful.
You could say that.
There's only one thing to do. Call Malcolm. I'm sure he'd go for a feature, an interview, a centre spread with pictures. I'm sure they send a photographer, Gordon or Richard. We've got 2 days before they go to press. Well, look, I wouldn't even mind interviewing William myself. What are you laughing at? I think it's a good idea. Look, I mean, people ought to know. Isn't that right? I mean, in fact, people have a right to know. I don't know why you think that's so funny. It's tragic. It'll crack everyone up. It's the saddest thing I ever heard of in an interview. Stop laughing, you two. An interview would be a terrific legacy, don't you see? Wouldn't it?
The hospital cafeteria. Malcolm, David and William are seated around a white plastic table. William is dressed in pyjamas and robe. A large sign on the back wall states, "Please help our staff keep this cafe clean." They have various empty cans of Coke around. There is rubbish around from previous customers.
I'm so grateful to you guys for taking me out like this. I get out of the house so rarely. I've never been to this bar before. Is it what they call a drag bar?
It's certainly a hell of a drag. Hospitals make me want to kill myself. Look at all this rubbish.
Well, that's no way to talk about the patients.
Still, it's better than staring at the same four walls. I get out so rarely.
Here we go, round two. Did you talk about me while I was gone? I do hope so.
No, we couldn't think of anything else bitchy to say about you. It'd all been said before. I want to know what idiot gave John Cook my own phone number. Own up.
Well, I did. He said he had to talk to you. He said it was an emergency, a matter of life and death.
Thanks a bunch. You ought to know better than that. Newspaper editors attract all sorts of weirdos. Why don't you ask what he wanted first?
He wouldn't say. You know the way he likes to make a drama out of a crisis? He loves being mysterious.
Well, he took up nearly an hour. On press day too, trying to persuade me to do an interview with William.
Oh no. Did he really call you about that ridiculous idea?
He had the nerve to tell me that our coverage of AIDS was very poor. Can you believe it?
Well, you haven't exactly made it front page news, Malcolm.
It isn't front page news, for Christ's sake. It's a health problem. So we put it in the health news section, along with Kaposi, sarcoma and hepatitis and everything else. We print everything we can get from the hospitals. We talk to doctors and whatever we pick up from the American gay press. We're thinking of doing a regular column. Tony Whitehead's offered. What more are we supposed to do? I'll be damned if I'll print what John wants. I can just see it. A long, soppy interview under the banner, AIDS victim speaks out, and a picture of William looking sexily wasted.
You don't need a scary headline with it. But John could have a point. Give it a human face. So many people didn't even know of anyone who's been diagnosed yet. Anyway, how many cases do we have? A dozen?
That we know of.
People think it has nothing to do with them, and somehow it'll go away.
Please don't go sticking up for that clown, Dave. I should run screaming from the room like I did in his last performance.
Aren't we all missing something out?
What?
Well, don't you think that the victim should...
Don't use that word. I can't stand it.
Think that William should have some say in it. You're talking about the tabloids.
Thank you, my dear. Since you're kind enough to ask, I'd rather stick pins in my eyes.
Yeah, but rightly handled, it could be a public service.
Not you two. I thought you were my friend. I don't want to be interviewed, and that's that. Can we please not argue? Everybody who comes to visit me argues.
Well, you certainly hit the party jackpot tonight, huh? 4 visitors at once, 4 times the arguments. Aren't you lucky?
I don't see why we couldn't have stayed in your room. This place is distressing.
I'm sick of my room. The trouble with you, Malcolm, if you didn't have something to complain about, you wouldn't know what to do with yourself. That's why you're such a good campaigning journalist. You never run out of things to moan about. You'd be so upset if we actually got equal rights, you'd have to pick a fight about someone else.
You can stuff your insights where the sun don't shine.
Oh, you sweet-talking fucker.
Girls.
We always have a go at each other. Since when were you the voice of reason? I know. He's got this serious disease. But does that mean we all have to creep around him and make inside small talk and pretend we're all happy? He doesn't need kid gloves or any of that shit.
Anyone says I do, I'll punch him out.
That's what I love about my gay brothers. Their sophistication.
You can shove it too, Daniel. I'm sorry, I didn't get back from the studio till 2:30 this morning. Why can't advertisers respect deadlines? It plays havoc with our schedules, but we can't say no, we need the money.
Is it a good edition, though?
It's always a good edition. Apart from certain gaps in the coverage, it seems.
Didn't know anything about it at all till I got it.
Really? But you've had things in paper. Didn't you read them?
I wasn't paying attention.
I remember seeing a full-page ad about hepatitis B. Dave knew more about AIDS then than I did. I mean, I didn't realise how deadly it is.
But it's not fatal, is it? I mean, it's the other half that kills you, like Kaposi sarcoma, right?
Kaposi sarcoma, KAP.
What?
It's Kaposi, no R.
Isn't that what I said?
You can't pronounce it. You can't even be sure what it is, and you hadn't heard of it until you caught it. God, I wouldn't know much more except that we've got a forum coming up. So I've had to bone up on it. Now, Malcolm, still think you've given it enough publicity?
You've made your point.
Shh, calm down. There's people here with pacemakers.
You've talked yourself into an assignment.
Who? Me?
You're the expert. You're the one with the complaint. If you don't like the paper, help to make it better.
Time for your medication. Visiting hours are over, gentlemen.
She called us gentlemen. I am so flattered at being given the benefit of the doubt.
I have never known you to be anything but a gentleman, Mr. O'Neill. Good night, all. It's pill popping time, also known as It's a Knockout.
3 weeks later.
It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Dave didn't say you had to do it.
It's merely a suggestion.
You're not going to get anywhere by pushing him. You're better off just letting him think about it for a while.
I can speak for myself, Vanessa, if you don't mind.
You're the one that said you were sick of being stuck in the hospital. Hey, that would be a chance to get out for a night. I'm sure Arthur would agree.
Arthur, is it now? Of course he'd agree. Dr. Helbing and his prize exhibit. Bring on the acrobats.
That's not it at all.
How the hell would you know? Don't you think I know what's really going on?
What's on your mind? There's something going on up there in the fog. Tell us what's really worrying you.
My old friend David comes to visit me in the hospital again. 2 of my best women friends are already here to see me, but he doesn't let that stop him barging in and coming straight to the point, his point. How would I like to come and speak at the Black and White Men Together Forum? How would I like to appear with my famous physician and tell all my brothers about the heartbreak of AIDS because I've been in hospital with it all my own for 3 whole weeks?
What the hell is wrong with that?
I will not be used. Do you think helping won't draw a nice big crowd? Do you think maybe the paper won't cover it properly? But if William Davis is there, the notorious AIDS victim, well, everybody will want to come and pack the place to get a peek at him before he drops dead. After all, it isn't every day you get to see a plague zombie, and by a strange coincidence, Black and White Men Together will be charging on the door.
We're not charging. Where on earth did you get that idea?
You're not? What about Helbing's fee?
He's not charging either. If he did, we couldn't afford him, and he knows that.
I'm surprised.
Well, maybe he just wants to save a few lives. Have you ever thought of that?
Oh, yes, he's a knight in shining armour.
Oh, I've had enough of this self-pitying crap. What makes you think you're so famous that everyone is going to give a shit that you got it?
That wasn't necessary.
Well, if the place is packed, please God, I won't be because of you or Helbing. It'll be because people are at last waking up to reality. They're starting to get scared. As well they should be. I only asked you because I thought you might care about other gays. But I must be wrong. Sorry I brought the subject up.
I think I screwed that up. The least you could do is disagree with me.
Call him later.
Just tell him you've changed your mind. He'll get over it if he knows you're going to do it after all.
But I really don't want to do it. I'm not a public speaker, Becky.
Don't be so modest. I've heard you on gay rights platforms, after marches, all that stuff.
This isn't political, this is personal. I'd feel really odd talking about it. I just don't want to do it. Isn't that enough?
Then don't, but call him anyway. And apologise.
Gosh, Judy, that's a great idea. Gee, why didn't I think of that?
You're really spoiling for a fight today, aren't you?
I suppose I am.
It rained this morning. We could go outside and mud wrestle.
I'm a sick man, remember? You wouldn't pick a fight with a cripple, would you?
Actually, you look much better today.
My condition is considered good. The pneumonia and the colitis are both slowly surrendering to treatment. I may be discharged soon.
Well, what's really the matter can't be cured at all.
Must you be so blooming perceptive, Vanessa? It's a very annoying habit. Guess what I did today? Anybody? I made my will. Doesn't that sound like fun? You can't imagine how much fun that was.
I made my will 3 years ago. Everybody ought to make a will.
What did you do? Leave it all to the Battersea Dogs Home?
Of course not, stupid. I left it to Vanessa, naturally.
Which, considering the number of pets we have, is the same as leaving it to the Battersea Dogs Home.
How's Tiger, by the way?
Oh, he's settled in, no problem. I thought the dogs might not take to a cat, but they seem to ignore him.
He does seem a bit confused by Captain Birdseye. He'll stalk up very slowly. Then the parrot lets out a great shriek and he runs away and hides under the bed for a couple of hours.
I do miss him.
He misses you too, I think. You never can tell with cats.
I've left you £3,000, which should keep him in cat food for the rest of his life.
You didn't need to.
I was going to leave it all to Mum, but now she gets the car, Tiger gets his annuity, and GAA gets the rest, which is not much. I never one was for saving on a rainy day.
So when are you getting out?
I don't know. If I keep improving at this rate, soon. I really don't care.
I don't believe you. You're always moaning you're sick of hospitals.
I'm sick of being sick. Every day I'll look out the window and there's all the hospital grounds laid out so tidily, shrubs, flower beds, lawns, paths. And it feels like they're laughing at me almost, because I'll never be able to run through them again. I'm too weak. I have to be careful of catching anything, not to eat rich food, not to drink. And of course, any kind of romance is out of the question.
You know, if I were in your shoes, I'd go to the bank, take out some of those miserable savings and go and sit in the sun in Mykonos or Corfu or somewhere. Order everything on the menu, go dancing every night, and to hell with doctor's orders. Eat, drink and be merry.
For tomorrow we die, thanks.
At least you'll have lived.
I was living already, thank you very much.
Look, you don't know how long you've got, but if you carry on like this, you'll go bloody miserable to the grave and it'll be your own fault. And that's the truth. You have a choice. Do you want to make your life last, or do you want to make it count?
Let's not ever snivel. Let's have a bloody good cry, and always remember, the longer you live, the sooner you bloody well die.
Now cut that out. That's quite enough self-pity for one day.
I don't want to die, Vanessa. I really don't want to. I think all the things I haven't done, all the people I need to make peace with, Mum.
I know.
Shit. I don't want to cry either. Where's the tissues?
What's all this? We can't be doing with crying. We have to take your blood pressure, Mr. Davis. If you keep sobbing, you'll completely ruin the readings.
This is their house dragon. Her name is Dottie Lyons. Like me, she hates being here. Unlike me, she can apply for a transfer. Any luck so far, Dottie?
No.
Poor Dottie. She thinks there are far too many homosexuals round here. Isn't that right, Dottie?
Just give me your arm, please.
He's a little upset at the moment. Couldn't you come back later?
If your visitors are upsetting you, I shall have to ask them to leave.
No.
Get that bitch out of here.
I am a nurse, and whatever my private opinions, Mr. Davis is my patient. You can't order me about.
No, but I can give you a good slapping.
I really do think you'd better go.
I'll get the sister.
You'll get your ass kicked.
Fight, 10 quid on the lesbian.
Oh, God, not another one. They're everywhere.
Show some respect.
You show some respect.
I'll show you some respect, all right. If you're not out of this room in 10 seconds, we shall leap on you, Becky and I, and have your knickers down around your ankles before you can say Rita Mae Brown.
Bloody disgusting!
Oh, but you're beautiful when you're angry.
Oh, shut up, chauvinist.
Thank you, both of you. I feel much better.
In that case, can I have my hand back? You've squeezed it half to death.
Sorry.
There's no circulation. I can't feel a thing. I'll never be able to use it again.
We'll see about that.
Ooh.
Sister's on her way. She'll soon put a stop to that. That's quite enough of that. Put that woman down. Out. Here, both of you out.
We were going anyway.
You're not our type.
Really?
Blood pressure, Dottie. You look like you'd take your own while you're about it.
What?
I can't spend all day hanging around with my arm out for the likes of you.
No, of course.
William's room. William is snoring gently. Dan is watching him, almost watching over him. It is late evening.
Who is it? Dan, how did you get in? What time is it? Finishing hours. Visiting hours finished ages ago.
Can thank your sexy charge nurse. I told him I was your ex, and he made me promise to keep it short.
What time is it?
About 11. I've been about half an hour.
You should have woken me up. Now you're going to have to go as soon as you've got here.
You look so peaceful, Cherub. I didn't like to disturb you. Besides, I had a lot to think about. Memories.
They're going to discharge me soon.
Fantabulosa.
It's good to see you.
Been wanting to come for ages.
Why didn't you?
We hardly parted on friendly terms.
Stop looking at me like that.
Like what?
Like I'm going to drop dead any second.
Just looking. I wish we hadn't. I mean, I've been thinking about us.
There is no us. There's you over there and me over here and some misty memories floating around in between. That's all there is.
Except I still love you.
You say that now. The last time I saw you, you threw an extremely pretty Art Deco lamp at my head, tore my entire collection of Dorothy L. Sayers and ripped the needle right across my favourite Nina Simone record, which was deleted from the catalogue 12 years ago. You also told me what you really thought about my looks, my sexual performance, my bourgeois attitudes, my lifestyle and my friends. And then you shut the door with such force on your way out that the glass pane fell out and smashed the 6 accumulated milk bottles on the front step. You've gone out of your way to avoid me since, so much that if I walk into a pub, you leave by the other door. You keep away from the hospital for all of a month and more. And now you still love me. Pardon me if I doubt that.
That was different. You deserved it then.
So everything was my fault and you were punishing me? Change the record, Dan.
Oh, why are you always so self-righteous? It was the same when we lived together. Why don't you get a job? I'm trying to get a job. Obviously, you're not trying hard enough. There aren't many jobs around. I don't understand it. I got a job easy enough, and I quote.
That was years ago when there were jobs.
Yeah, dishwashing in grotty hotels. Great.
Instead of which I had to keep you in the lifestyle to which you would like to be accustomed to protect your precious principles.
I got the dole. I contributed.
A bit, not enough. Do you think my job was wonderful? It was damn hard sometimes.
If you hated it so much, why did you do all that overtime? I hardly ever saw you.
Maybe that's why I did the overtime.
I didn't actually come here to start a fight.
Yeah? Why did you come?
Well, the others came. I couldn't not come. And now you're trying to drive me away, but it's not going to work. I know the way you are. You've got more pride than is decent, and you really don't want people to see you when you're sick, but you still want everyone to fuss over you.
Oh, how would you know? I was never sick when we lived together.
The food poisoning?
No.
The time you pulled a tendon when you went out running?
That too, yeah.
The migraine headaches those last few months?
What have you been doing? Keeping a diary? All right, already. What the hell happened to us, anyway?
Money? Habit? Growing pains?
That doesn't explain it at all.
Your damn pride again.
What pride? I'm really modest. I'm the most modest person I know.
I got more money when I finally got a job. Then I got promoted. You didn't. It got on your nerves. Now I could do things that you couldn't. And your stinking pride wouldn't let you share what I had.
You didn't always want to share it.
True. And then you got so involved in politics and Pride Day, and we had less time together. So instead of our friends, there were your friends and my friends.
Your friends? Huh? You seem to be doing pretty well with your friends.
You spying on me?
I get reports. People see you in heaven or at Bang, Seems you always leave with an attractive young man in tow.
They never mean anything to me.
You say that now. I will never get the chance to find out. You lose your social skills in a couple. I got rusty in the art of the pickup, so it hardly ever seemed worth it. Now, of course, the question won't arise.
That's tough.
It's kissing I miss the most. Big, sloppy, wet kisses. Who'd want to bed a leper?
You're still very attractive.
Forget it.
You are, to me.
Cut it out. I couldn't, even if I wanted to.
What makes you think that I want?
I know you.
I just want to cheer you up.
Infecting you isn't going to cheer me.
My choice, my risk.
What do you think I am?
Oh, come on. The doctors don't know for sure. One quick one won't hurt. It will help you to relax. You'll sleep better. The chances aren't that great. I still love you.
You feel sorry for me. And you feel guilty.
Why should I feel guilty?
Because if you hadn't stormed out, we might still be together. And if we were together, I wouldn't have this.
It's not quite as simple as that. I came here to see you, but also because I have something to tell you. You see, when we were together, I wasn't entirely faithful to you. Oh, I was most of the time, don't worry, but once or twice there were tempting offers that were too good to turn down. Remember when you went to that ABTA conference in Edinburgh? We'd had a row and we didn't have time to make up before you caught the train. I was seething and he was, well, more than dishy. It was a fancy dress party. He wore a cute sailor suit. I asked him if he'd show me his hornpipe and he promised to shiver me timbers. Pathetic. I don't remember his name or anything else about it. And when you got back, I felt too ashamed to tell you. After all the promises, fidelity, monogamy, what a hypocrite, eh? So you see, I might have given it to you years ago.
I must tell Helbing. That'll put the cat among the pigeons.
Helbing?
My gay consultant. He's almost as prissy as a straight doctor. I told him I got it at an orgy in San Francisco after we broke up. Exception proving the rule.
What are you talking about?
When a body met an antibody coming through the rye. Or was it bourbon? Anyway, I was on holiday. I was drunk. I was invited by a nice man. You know how it is? I had thought we'd grow old together. Have you had a checkup?
There's nothing wrong with me.
1 minute you may be a carrier, the next minute you're fit as a fiddle. Make up your mind.
I'm not seeing a doctor, see? They wouldn't tell me anything. No test. If I have got it, I'll know in good time.
I didn't for months. If it's any help, my old dear, I don't care where I caught it. I'm past all that now. I'll forgive you in advance if you want, though I don't really do forgiveness. Never wanted to be Pope. The frocks are so tacky.
Thanks. That's the weight of my mind.
I should be thanking you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for cheering me up. Thanks for being honest.
I should have been honest before.
No regrets, as the song says.
I can take a hint, sleepyhead. Give me that big, wet, sloppy kiss.
Come on, haven't you been listening?
But for me, I'm probably immune or something. It'll take years to develop. You probably had it when you were with me anyway. I'll take my chances.
I know it's hard.
It's not the only thing that's hard.
I don't believe you said that. Go away.
I thought you were sleepy. Turns out you're grumpy.
Don't get me wrong. I'm so tempted. I'll be off before I change my mind.
I'll never wash again. Good night, cherub.
Good night, love.
It is now 2 months later, yet another hospital room. There is a screen which indicates this is a shared room.
Here we go again. Another suitcase and another. Looks like I've got a roommate this time. Wonder if we're in the same boat. Village of the Damned. Oh, phone ringing. Fuck it! A fucking phone already! Don't answer it, Mum. It will stop. I'm not back for 5 minutes before the phone rings. Well, the hell with it. I mean it, Mum. I don't want to talk to anybody. Last time I was in this hellhole, I had a sodding parade going through my room every 5 minutes, for Christ's sake. I get discharged and go home and hardly anybody calls, but the minute I get readmitted, oh, it's not good. And any luck, they'll think I'm dead.
Give me your suitcase, I'll unpack it.
I'll do it. You don't have to do anything for me. I can do it. I want to do it.
William, I have been taking care of you for the past 2 months, ever since you got over that pneumonia and that colitis. Thank you. I've taken care of you. And so have several of your friends, especially Vanessa and David. And tonight, I've driven you here to the hospital, as a matter of fact. I packed your suitcase in the first place. So if you want to unpack it, that's just fine. Get out of that wheelchair and do it. But please, drop this pretense of lonely independence. It's wearing a bit thin. And frankly, it's insulting.
I don't want to be here. Not again.
You're getting worse. You're losing weight again. And that skin rash on your arms is just...
Not getting worse. I have good days and bad days. It's just today was one of the bad days. I went back to work, didn't I? I'm going to be fine. Doctors just panic, especially Helbing. Well, to hell with Helbing. He can't cure me, so to hell with him.
Getting settled, are we? I mean, are you making yourself comfortable?
Hello, Dr. Kildare. I didn't recognise you out of drag.
I don't recall ever wearing drag.
You might have enjoyed it. Anyway, I meant the white coat.
Oh, that. No, I've been giving a talk. Streatham Area Gaze.
SAG. Unfortunate name.
Hence the jeans.
You know, you almost look gay tonight.
I wanted to look at that rash.
You came all the way just to look at my arm. I knew it. You only love me for my rash.
It's something new.
Oh, goody, how exciting for you. Yes, I have a rash on my arms. Yes, I have lost weight. Yes, I feel shit and probably look like shit too. That is the end of the news.
I'd like to examine your arm.
I think I'll be going now.
Right, Mum. Please, could you ask the nurse to bring me some water? I'm really thirsty. Or a Coke even.
I'll go to the cafe and get you a soda. Don't worry, I'll be right back.
See for yourselves, folks. Nothing in my hands, nothing up my sleeves.
I'm glad to see you haven't lost your sense of humour.
Oh yes, the famous British sense of humour. Keep smiling through the blitz. That's what won the war, Gov. I keep thinking if I laugh at it hard enough, it'll go away. What's the verdict? Kaposi's? See, I've done my research. I'm turning into a real expert.
Can't tell what it is, to be honest. It does bear a certain resemblance. Yeah, we'll have to take some more tests.
Be my guest, by all means. What would life be without tests, after all? Personally, I always look forward to pissing in a bottle and having blood sucked out of me by a needle. Contraptions probing my every orifice. Fun, fun, fun. And soon, all my friends will come pouring through the door with all their problems and their shit.
If you like, I can have visitors limit to immediate family only. I only have to tell the nurses.
No. I mean, oh, thank you. That won't be necessary. After all, there are different kinds of family. Know what I mean? I might get lonely. Different room this time. Who's my new neighbour?
No one at the moment. No, the locker's empty.
An empty bed? What's wrong with this hospital? Won't Norman Fowler have something to say about that? No value for money in an empty bed.
It's Department of Health's policy to maintain spare capacity.
Really?
Am I boring you?
I could think of more interesting subjects. You, for instance.
Me?
What bars do you go to?
It depends. Different ones. I don't go out much.
That's right. You've got a nice lover waiting at home. Lucky old you. Didn't like me asking you a personal question, did you?
Not particularly, no.
Yeah, you know everything about me, down to my last bowel movement. Hardly fair, is it? Sorry I'm impatient because I haven't got much time. I know you need your professional detachment.
I'm not very detached about this case, I'm afraid. I think you know that. If you were just another patient, I wouldn't be here right now.
I know, you relish a challenge.
Well, in your case, the challenge is more than the disease. It's the patient too. And no, I'm not detached on either count.
I know. You were hoping it was just a bad case of poison ivy, weren't you?
No, it's not that. But we don't know what it is yet.
I don't think I want to know. I missed Gay Pride March. I wasn't up to it. First I've missed in 6 years. I heard your speech was very good.
Oh, I just spoke from a bit of paper. I was too nervous to ad lib. But I did a Q&A at the student union later, and I was better with David's black and white group.
Careful, Dr. Helbing. You're beginning to sound like an activist.
Somebody should be. Somebody should be taking responsibility.
Can I come in?
I have no secrets from you.
I got you a 7-Up and a Yorkie.
Sorry, no chocolate. Tests tomorrow.
Put the Yorkie in your cupboard then for later.
I'm so thirsty.
Oh, how's your water jug?
Empty.
Well, that's too bad. Could you...
Yeah.
Well, I have to be going. duty calls back home. It's a long way back to Harrow on the Hill. I'll drop by in a day or so.
Bye.
What a nice man. No, Yorkie, you poor boy. They'll be bringing you painkillers soon. There'll be water with them.
Mum,
Yes?
I hate hospitals.
Me too.
William's hospital room. An excited buzz from William, Becky, Jeannie, John Cook, Vanessa, Malcolm and Dan.
Why won't anybody tell me? Becky, please. I've got to know, this isn't fair. Oh, stop messing about.
If we tell you, it won't be a surprise.
Malcolm.
You will find out in due course. Patience is a virtue, you know.
It's not my birthday, I know that.
What a perceptive child it is.
Oh, should be on Mastermind.
Next thing you work out, today's Tuesday.
Oh, stop it, all of you. Stop being so infuriating. Becky, what are you doing here?
Oh, just happened to be passing.
Rubbish, Becky.
Quiet, everyone. Someone's coming.
Ta-da!
You certainly took your time.
Well, it wasn't ready yet. I had to wait. Honestly, I go all that way just to...
Can we please get on with it?
On with what? The suspense is killing me.
All right. Let's have some bit of hush then. Unaccustomed as I am to public speaking.
Liar.
Shut up, Dan. Try again. Unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, I am but the one who comes before.
Premature ejaculation is such a dreadful affliction.
Ah! Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Desperate Dan.
And I give you Delicious David.
Oh, you're too kind. And I give you Desperate Dan.
That's enough. Do you want to kill me?
Actually, I'm the one who's meant to be doing this.
Yeah, we were just prattling around.
My dear Mr. Davis.
Try not to laugh when you call me that.
My dear Mr. Davis.
That's terrifying. Smile, for God's sake.
Oh, stop mucking about. I've learnt it and I don't want to forget it.
Well, you said this was going to be a short speech.
That's right. We wanted it short and sweet, which is why you're not giving it.
My dear Mr. Davis, we of the Gay Alliance have had the pleasure of...
You're only one who's had the pleasure.
Of working beside you in our struggle for liberation for, lo, these many years. You have never hesitated to give us your all.
Oh!
Whenever there was a task to be done, and you have spent many long and thankless hours arranging events and doing all the little things that must be done so that everything can go smoothly.
Are you sure you're not making this up?
Look, do you want to hear this or not? I'm sure John would be delighted to deliver it. Thank you. You, William Davis, have volunteered so much of your time and your energy and have even contributed your hard-earned money towards our fundraising efforts. All this you have done without thought of reward so that someday our people, lesbians and gays, might live in freedom, dignity, and the more fashionable parts of town.
Who writes this material?
And so, Mr. Davis, in order to express to you however inadequately, our deepest and most heartfelt thanks for all you have done. We, the assembled members of the Gay Alliance, do hereby present you with this small token of our esteem, the GAA Certificate of Merit.
Speech, speech.
Yeah. Yes, speech.
Come on, Willie, say something. Never known you at a loss for words.
Thanks. I can't. It's great.
Oh, he's choked. Isn't that sweet?
We should give him certificates more often if we knew it would shut him out.
That certificate is just wonderful, and so is the frame.
And that's all hand lettering too. David Shenton was working on it still when I went to pick it up. He wanted to be here, but he has a deadline for a comic strip.
I'll give him a ring. It's gorgeous.
You can always tell the work of a true artist.
How would you know?
Now, let's all be nice to each other tonight, just for once. So glad you like it.
I've never been so proud of anything in my life. I love it. Shame I had to be dying to get it. Like a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Whoa, whoa.
You're right. That was uncalled for. It is a wonderful surprise. I couldn't work out what was going on, all of you showing up at once. Well, I've only been back in hospital for a few days.
They even kept it a secret from me. I only found out about it at the last minute. I overheard Malcolm talking about your blood and I sort of gate crashed.
It's quite simple. For some reason, I've got septicemia, poison blood. I'll probably be dead in a couple of days.
You certainly know how to put your foot in it, John Cook. We weren't going to talk about it.
Well, how was I to know if nobody tells me anything?
Can't they do anything?
Not a thing. Come on, everybody, let's try a retake. How about some music? I've only got headphones here. Anyone bring a radio? No? Shame. Can't have any booze either, or crisps, or peanuts. Not so much of a party so far, I'm afraid. We could make a stilted attempt at small talk. Or we could do the sensible thing. Give up. Leave me to enjoy my pretty present in peace and go home.
I don't want to go home.
Anyone want to drink me under the table? Becky? Vanessa?
Feel like getting laid.
Those both sound like good ideas to me. Better than being trapped in some dreary hospital. Seriously, well, why don't you? Do it for me, since I can't. Drink toasts for me. Tell funny stories about me. Pick up a nice man for me. The William Davis Memorial Screw.
You're not serious.
But you must come and tell me all the gory details tomorrow.
You're on.
Well, I'll be damned. You are serious.
The trouble with having a wake is that the person who it's for is never around to enjoy it. I'm having my own wake in advance.
Yours and Dan's and who else's, you silly queen. Don't you even have the sense God gave you? Gave a goose? What the hell do you think you're doing?
Wait a minute.
No, you wait. You just have to be the biggest fool ever. You're the one lying there with your whole system poisoned because you were out behaving like a mink on heat. And now you're the one who has just told your friends to go and pick someone up. Hey, maybe they won't be as lucky as you. Maybe they'll have to settle for herpes or a simple case of crabs. Why not?
After all, we all know it's vital for a man to have sex, don't we? Or he isn't a real man. And then he's got to show everyone what a man he is by getting drunk and bragging about it.
William, are you out of your mind?
Who rattled her cage?
The gospel according to the saintly sisters. Have you quite finished?
That's right, make a joke.
In the first place, there's no proof that promiscuity, as you and Mary Whitehouse would both call it, is a contributing factor. Secondly, I have not been like a mink on heat. I was with Dan for over 5 years. Apart from him, I only played around twice in all that time. Hardly a world record.
I just assumed you must have. I thought.
You didn't think, you assumed. You jumped to conclusions like every bigot. And let us not forget your record with the London Supper Club maidens. What a score you racked up.
William, please. I'm sorry. It's just a risk to Dan.
Even if it is a bit risky, so what? Smoking's risky, drinking's risky, air travel is risky, crossing the road is risky. I've got a right to take risks if I want to. People have spent 15 years fighting so we can have a few basic human rights to live the way we want. And this queer isn't going to give that all up for some germ.
Oh, stop it, Dan. You don't know what you're talking about.
You mean you are still screwing around?
My choice. And if I run risks, I have as much right to be taken care of as anyone if the cards fall the wrong way.
You do not have the right to infect someone else. Go on, kill yourself if you must. If you want to commit suicide because you love William and you feel guilty because he got it and you didn't, go ahead. But what about any poor bastard stuck on the end of your dick?
That's his choice too.
Oh, men are such spoilt brats. You don't want to change the way you behave, so of course the doctors must be wrong. And you're going to carry on screwing to prove them wrong, even if it kills you.
The William Davis Memorial Screw, Becky. Screw, singular. It's hardly likely anyone will catch anything from a single encounter.
Epidemics spread, Malcolm. That's why they're called epidemics. Why is sex so important? I just don't understand.
What's so difficult to understand, darling? Men think with their cocks.
Now the lesbian prude comes out. Though many women collectively are fine, you don't really like men, do you, Becky? You don't like the thought of them with their clothes off, doing it, especially with each other. Oh, that hard male flesh past the smelling salts.
Do you really believe that stale crap? The man-hating dyke? Listen, if I hated men, you think I'd be glad they're killing each other and keep quiet, wouldn't you?
It's hopeless. They don't want to hear. They're frightened of commitment.
That's it, generalised. Put us all in the same little box and shut the lid shut.
Gays aren't killing each other. It's a disease, damn it. A disease which is killing people, not just gays either.
All right then, do what you like. I'll be damned if I care anymore.
I wish I could turn my heart off. I wish I didn't care if you're the next to die. I do so wish I could just blame you and other gay men so I didn't feel such dread. Oh, Dan, please don't go and play in traffic. Sooner or later, you'll get run over.
Calm down, everyone. You're all overreacting.
Our friend is lying there dying, and he says we're overreacting.
It's so unfair. If it was heterosexuals getting it, they'd find a cure in a year. A vaccine at least.
Shut up. Leave me alone. Just shut up. I don't care what any of you do. Just get out of here. It's all over. See you at the funeral, especially you damn dykes. All of you, out. I'm sick of your faces. You two, home. Go to a bar. Go to hell. Shut up and get out. Hurry up.
I want you to know, I think you're being very rude.
Get out. Keep moving. Fuck right off. What a lousy goddamn wake. Nurse! I want a pill. I need some Valium. Help!
William in bed, writing something intently. He erases what he's just written and pauses, chewing on his pencil. He rereads something in an inaudible murmur, then writes once more. Around him are screwed up pieces of paper on the floor, bed, etc. There is a knock.
Hello, big brother.
Hello, Steve. Mum brought me the radio. He said music might boost my morale. I can just about face Radio 3 when it's not too daring.
Mum's the one who needs a morale boost. I called her this morning. She burst into tears.
She's waiting for the call to tell her I'm dead, Steve.
Surely there's still hope. What about blood transfusion?
Not for septicemia. It would only reinfect. What's in the bag?
Video cables, microphone. The camera's still down in the car, and the tripod. Professional video gear weighs a ton. I'll have to go and get it.
It must be killing you, the price of hospital parking.
For you, it's worth it. I was lucky to get a space.
Very nice of you to help.
Do you really care what I think?
It may surprise you, but I do. I can't work out exactly how to do it. It's really for Arthur, but I don't know what he wants.
Arthur?
Arthur helping. He wants to use it with his talks. Visual aids.
Don't.
I can't work out exactly how to do it. I've got one script which is funny and one that's serious, and this one is sort of scientific and stuffy. I don't know which one to use. I don't know how to start it either.
Pretend you're talking to one person. Forget the camera.
Easier said than done.
Try it.
Good evening. I'm here to talk about a very serious health hazard which is threatening the gay community. It is important that everyone should be aware. This stinks. I can't do it.
Don't read from the paper. I can't see your face.
Let's just forget it. It was a stupid idea. I just thought after what Becky said that I've been such a prick to people. So I came up with this idea. I want them to all know that I do care in spite of what I said. Even if I'm too sick to get out of this room and tell people. Nobody should have to go through what I've been through with this.
So you dragged me down from Glasgow to make you a movie star.
Exactly. Wow. You do work for Scottish television. But I can't do it. It's too late. I'm too tired. I'm sorry, Steve. I've dragged you here for nothing. No. Oh, I've got to do it. I've chickened out for too long. I've been so rude to everyone who cared for me, not speaking. I've got to do something. This is the only thing I can think of.
Okay, calm down. We're going to do it. For all your friends, if nothing else.
And then maybe they won't forget me when I've gone.
Yeah, that too. Oh, let's try again. Just talk to me. Go on. Forget that paper. I told you. Just talk to me. Tell me who you are and what's the matter with you. Remember, I'm your stupid brother and I don't understand any of this. You'll have to tell me. Make me understand. Take a deep breath. Relax. Breathe out. And talk to me.
Hello. My name is William Davis, and I'm dying. I'm dying because I have acquired immune deficiency syndrome. I had it for months before I knew what was the matter with me. You could have it too, though I hope not. But don't go around thinking it can only happen to someone else. If you have any reason at all to think you might have it, see your doctor and get yourself tested. If you don't trust your doctor, you can go to a hospital GU clinic, genito-urinary. I can hardly say it. There is no cure, but if they catch it early, your chances are much better. It's important that you take responsibility for your own health. If gay men don't take responsibility, sooner or later we will be forced to seek treatment. Local health authorities could force gay venues to close. Bars, clubs, saunas, the works. I don't have to tell you how few rights we have and how fragile they are. Many people still despise and fear homosexuals. If we start to be seen as a major source of infection, it's possible that a devastating hate campaign would follow. Already, the American Red Cross has rejected gay men as blood donors, and AIDS-infected blood is being blamed for the deaths of haemophiliacs. AIDS has only killed 20 people in the UK so far, but there have been several hundred deaths in the US and Canada. Don't tell me it won't happen here. It's already happening. Oh, people don't know it. It may well have a spread elsewhere too. I don't know. Now, it's not always diagnosed properly, so you should seek out a clinic that knows the symptoms and what to look for. When you do, you must be honest about your sexual contacts so they can get help too. If our society was less uptight about sex, then it wouldn't matter that sex seems to spread this. But the evidence is that it does matter. But You can't afford to ignore the fact that you're more at risk. Think twice about whether you want to continue to cruise the heath, or go to the subway, or sex parties, or get your rocks off in cottages. I probably got this at a sex party. I'm not proud of that, but I don't think everyone should go out and buy a chastity belt either. Sex is the greatest, right? But if I'd known what was going to happen to me, I would have run like hell in the other direction on the night I was invited to that party. Well, there's no use crying over spilt bodily fluids. Not a damn thing I can do about it now. But even if it's too late for me, it's not too late for you. I suppose I must have some kind of Messiah complex, but I would like to think that some of you who see this will pay attention and maybe save yourself from what I have been going through. Look at me. Yeah. Take a good, long, hard look. Do you want to look like this? I'm 31 years old, but you'd never know it. I have a lot of friends, gay and straight, and I'm close to my family. I don't want to die, and they don't want me to, and I have this cute doctor called Helbing who's doing his best, but oh, to hell with me. Yes, indeed, to hell with me. I don't matter, but you matter. So let's get back to you. You have to take responsibility for yourself, for your own health, for the health of those around you. We don't know what the hell's going on, but there is such a thing as protection. If it's raining, you get an umbrella. You can still have other kinds of sex apart from shagging. Do I have to spell it out? Use your imagination. And if you still want to screw, why not use a condom? We know they work against other STDs. Why not this one? Try it. What have you got to lose? Please listen to me. And then tell your friends about me. I hope everybody who's queer in the whole bloody world hears about William and the totally stupid, senseless way he died, so nobody else has to die like this anymore. That's all I wanted to say. Get checked before you get killed. I'm so tired. Was that okay, Steve? I hope I can remember all that again.
It was okay. I remember it. I can prompt you, it'll be fine.
Hey, bruv. Are you crying?
Oh, I must have something in my eye. Okay, I'm crying, so what?
Nothing. I'm sorry.
What the hell are you sorry about?
I don't know. Everything. Wants a hug?
No. want to get the goddamn camera.
Big boys don't cry. Poor Steve.
Act 3, Scene 4.
I'm sorry to have to call so late, Mrs. Davis, but you did ask me to. No, he didn't come out of the coma. He slipped away during the night. The night nurse found him. I'm very sorry. I wish I could have done something more for him. No, the nurse wasn't there. She'd gone on her rounds. Neither was I. He died alone. I'm so very sorry, Mrs. Davis. So very sorry.